Alright, what's going on, people?
What's up, everybody?
Alright, so this is what I wanted to do. These are my two really good friends from high school. We are going to have, I guess, a spirituality kind of conversation.
Yeah.
We're going to start off kind of like, why do we think we're here? And we're going to go from there. I know their fundamental beliefs are based around Christianity, and we're just kind of go from there and let it snowball a little bit.
Yeah. So
Let's fucking jump in. Alright, so why do you think we're here? Yeah, well, why do you think we're here? Why is there something as opposed to nothing kind of question? Why are we here? What's the purpose? Is there a purpose?
okay, so twofold question. First up, why I think we're here. I think that God had an intentional plan, intentional design for life. He wanted people to exist. He wanted people to interact with one another. He wanted people to relate. So therefore, I think that we are all on this earth. We're all put here, whether we chose to be here or not. God placed us on this earth, and we have to understand that there's certain things, certain intentions that we may have, that other people may have, that other Christians may have. There might be other people, like in general, that just have expectations of us. I'm talking to you one-on-one, just like what's coming out of my head. First off, I think that we're here for a purpose. If we weren't here for a purpose, then people would start to question, why are we here? Well, they already do that, but what brings me to that is that, all right, if we weren't here for a purpose, then we would all just be existing to exist. Then we would have to die. So therefore, we have like a certain natural process in our head, what we got to do, and then there wouldn't be really, to me, there would be no purpose. But that's beside the point. So beginning and end, we have a purpose. I think that we were put on this earth to serve others. Some people think that we were put here to serve ourselves. Some people think we were put here to serve, people that are a higher, respect level, a higher, whatever you call it, like social class than what we are. So they think we're here to serve them. But I think that we're here to serve each other. And the reason that I think that is because in Scripture it says, I know you can, put it in quotes, whatever. People don't necessarily believe Scripture, but in Scripture it says that basically the meek will inherit the earth. So the people who are not trying to get all they can for themselves, the people who are not trying to promote themselves, the people who are not trying to do things that are only oriented toward themselves are going to inherit the earth. That being said, the earth is in like different shapes and forms of what we think. So we think, all right, so the earth is this way. We've grown up to see a certain way. We've acted and inherited a certain way from our families. We've started a certain way, and then we proceed from there because it's all we've known. So if we're to believe that, then we keep going on that basis, thinking that this, like, we're here to do a certain thing, so we have to accomplish something, and I'm saying that we have to accomplish something for more than just ourselves. So if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I honestly don't know how I feel and what I believe. I believe in God. See, a lot of people believe of evolution, that all of a sudden the Big Bang happened and we all evolved. They said that it took thousands.
I would, if I may. No, actually, go ahead.
They said it took thousands of years for us to evolve, from monkeys to humans. But in the time frame of thousands of years, where are all the people that were evolved? Where are all those different types of evolving species throughout the hundreds and thousands of years? You know what I mean? But today we still have humans and monkeys. You know what I mean? If we came from nothing, we would be nothing. We would act like everything else. But yet we're separate from everything else. If we all went extinct, the world would go back to its natural stasis. It would be perfect. If the bee population extinct, it'd be a downward spiral domino effect, and we would all die eventually. It'd just crumble. So if we came from nothing, we would start out as a little organism and slowly turn into a baby. So when we reached the baby process, who was there to take care of us? Who was there to feed us? Who was there to cut our umbilical cord? Or anything like that? No one was. We would have died. We wouldn't be here. That's how I believe, because that's how I feel, and that's kind of what I see. Today it's like, I don't believe in nothing, but you can't change the fact that we're here. There is no changing that. We're all here, and each and every one of us thinks differently and believes differently in a way. We might believe in the same God, but there's certain things that we might disagree with.
So we've established a common ground. The common ground is that we exist and we have a certain purpose.
We have
can't
a
explain
purpose.
the purpose yet. People
We're
might
here. Look what we do.
understand, like, out
What do
there,
we do?
but-
We create.
Yeah.
And we don't just create and settle and just stick to the way we've always done it. Like a beaver, he builds a dam. He doesn't build that dam any different for the rest of his life. It's the same way. This is how it is since day one. The beavers never changed the way they build the things. We look at us. Look what we've come. Look what we've built. There is no other species on Earth that does what we do. We are the only species on Earth that can do what we do.
Are you saying that our purpose is to create?
That's what I believe.
Or
Our
is
purpose
that is like, because remember, because you believe in a divinity, so is it a divine purpose to create?
I believe.
Is
we're
that the
here-
ultimate purpose?
I believe the ultimate purpose is to worship the person who
Created
created
to
us.
worship God. So that's what you think.
All right. So all right. So
Personal level.
I wanted you to get your opening statements out before I didn't want to interject. I almost did at one point.
Yeah.
Not for any particular reason, just because I wanted to clarify something. But I'm like, no, let's not clarify anything. Let's let it go. So I
keep going.
definitely wanted you guys to have this. Now I kind of allow me to interject on certain thoughts and let's just run wild with it.
Go ahead.
Where was I just going with? We were just talking about to create. You're saying
Probably talking about
the
creating
divine.
life, yeah.
The divine purpose, the ultimate purpose, is to worship.
That's what-
In my view, tell me where I'm wrong. I think that would be a shitty God. For somebody who created me in order to be worth to worship me. I feel like if the God that is supposed to be so good and so whatever. Remember, all right. Well, anyway, let's keep going. The God that is supposed to be so good and so loving or whatever has such a weird little quirk about him that I, as a human, if I could create a kid, like right now, which I do, or if I could make some clay animation and jolt them with electricity and then they become people, and I'm like, I made you, love me. If he doesn't love me, right?
Yeah.
More or less. It is. If you believe that. Remember, I don't know, we're on this dynamic here. And we can grow with this. Like maybe you might
So that's where
change it around. But do you see I just feel like there's tell me where I'm wrong in that. Where
Right.
I think it's a little cruel, it's a little weird, and I as a human can have more compassion than somebody who would go about it in that way.
Tell me though if you think this is off in any way. Like God might be from above just looking on humanity and saying, all right, I want to allow these people to have free will. But therefore, after I allow them to have free will, I'm going to exert control in certain ways that's going to allow them not to hurt themselves, but they'll still be able to exercise their free will in such a way that they can do what they want.
We do have to back up there. They can exercise their free will into a way they can't hurt themselves.
Yes.
But
they
don't
can,
we?
They can't. Well, in a way we do, but what I'm
because we're
saying is,
corrupted
yeah. But,
through sin.
well, what I'm getting at is that, all right, yes, it looks like an angry God, like a naive God that's just going to punish every ant that doesn't do what he wanted it to do. Yes, it looks that way from our perspective, but what I'm saying is that if God was like to do such a thing, we can't judge him just like he can't judge us. He can judge us righteously because he's the only one qualified to do that, but he can't judge us right now in the actions that we're committing and currently now in this state of mind. So let's say that in this state of mind, I'm making a decision to do the wrong thing. I'm deciding to take life back into my own hands, and I want to control my own destiny. So I'm making bad decisions now. But you can't say on that fact that God is not a compassionate God, because he could be saying that, all right, I'm going to allow him to make those mistakes so he can learn from those mistakes, and then those actions require an equal and opposite reaction, which is that I will allow him to make those mistakes so that he can experience the what do you call it? Like the consequences from those actions.
But
so therefore,
ultimately
like,
to turn around and get right so you can worship me again.
yeah. So eventually, that's
either
the
way,
same
it ends
goal,
up there.
But it's not.
But
yeah,
why
it's not
is I'm talking about fundamentally? Why is that goal cool? Why is that okay? Now I get it. We don't have to like the truth. I'm okay with that. And I use that. I say that all the time, but I say it for other reasons. But it is fitting in here too. You don't have to like the truth, but don't you love the truth? As being a Christian, you love the way this is. You love that. Why is that cool? Why is that okay? Why does somebody need? What's the purpose of being created to then be worshipped? Just to be worshipped for? Remember, all divine purpose.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if you agree with that.
No.
I know you said that, but I don't know if you agree with that.
To get back to...
Do you have a divine purpose? What's the ultimate purpose?
To that
is
point,
it that?
would be to... Alright, so yeah, he pointed out that it's our only reason here is to praise and worship God. Which I could agree with.
Only reason. I didn't say that.
I want the divine reason.
I don't want,
which to me is like the most important. Why did God make you...
Yeah,
boom.
Divine
Now
intention.
it branches out and this and this.
Yeah.
But what is that core? Boom. Is there one reason?
A divine intention,
more?
I would think, would be to have creatures that He's created that can choose to either worship God or to make the wrong decisions. So, for me, like being God, I can't pretend to be that way. But if I were God, I would be pleased by the fact that there are certain people out here who are choosing to do the right thing, even though they had the option out there to do the wrong thing. So it's a game. It's a game. In a sense, it's a game. I wouldn't say that life is a game. I would just say that it's a game in that.
Well, it has to be a game because He created life.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I want you to figure it out. But if you get it, if you win, more or less. I know I'm just like using this word. Yeah. But if you win this game, you get to live in heaven, and then if you lose this game, it's going to be a rough ride. It's going to get a little dark.
Yeah.
To me, I saying the purpose of that. Just how are you okay with that?
Actually,
And all I'm asking is to take a step back. I'm not trying to impose myself, but just think about these things, or just think about why is that okay?
What I could say to illustrate a point, I can't necessarily say that my point's going to automatically win every argument or whatever, but I could say that to illustrate a point, I would say that, let's say that, for example, you were the first person that walked into your classroom and you're in first grade. You're the first person to walk in, and the teacher never says anything, but all of a sudden you designed in your head that you were going to come up with a plan, you were going to create like little groups that your first grade class is going to be in. So I've got this group. Oh, we're the cool kids. Whatever we have,
little. So
let's say I took it upon myself, to form like a little like social class system. So I have these people that are agreeing with me, and these people that are just in a group, and these other people that are in a different group. All right. So to put it on another level, like. All right, we have these groups, and this one particular group, I'm going to say that this group is going to be better than the other groups. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying it to say it. So, like,
you're still the person who's
controlling,
who's deciding who's group, not the teacher,
not the teacher. It's just a situational.
Yeah.
So, I've decided that we're all going to praise and worship God for 30 minutes, let's say. So we take all these groups, and they're all saying, okay. Yeah, we'll get on board with that to follow because you're the one in charge. You're the one telling them these things. So all of a sudden now they're doing that, and you're stating your beliefs. They're maybe not agreeing with it, but they're still like they're gonna say, okay, yeah, I believe in God. I believe there's certain strengths to believing in God. But really what it comes down to is if you inside yourself believe that there is a power greater than you controlling you. So if some people were to say, okay, I don't believe that God exists, I don't believe that He can control me, that's fine. You want to take it upon yourself to believe that, but then you have to act upon that, saying that you're in your own strength, you're going to make the right decisions. So we as Christians, I'm not going to put it down in different terms, but let's say that me and him as Christians believe that God is in control of those things. So it's not something that me and him can control on our own because we're not that smart. Mm-hmm. He is controlling those things, so therefore we have to act and abide accordingly. If you don't, then you're not saying that automatically, you're sinning and you're going to hell. You're saying that basically I'm making a conscious choice to do something that's not against, or that do something that's against what would normally be an okay thing for me to do. You're acting upon your own will, your own volition to do something that's not that's not conducive to your progression as a human being, something that would make you better as an individual. So you want to believe that that you can do that, but at the same time you're still getting instruction from a higher being. That's what it comes down to. Like, if you don't believe that there's a higher power, it's going to be hard to explain to somebody who thinks that like everything is just like what we see here and now.
I got a couple different.
There's so
things
many
that
ways to
I'm,
come
I'm
out
con-
there.
I got confused with what the underlying point was. That the underlying point?
The main
Because
point
I started to think that you were trying to say that like if you're conscious about the higher being, you acting against it and sinning is an act of consciousness of sinning. So it like means more than the person who put their group
somebody
and
who's-
thought they didn't, but still it's in their duty to act good, and that's okay because they're acting good, but they didn't know any better, but they're still within the parameters.
Like,
that's what I thought you were saying, but then you went on to say...
I messed it up a little bit, but the point that I was making is that we can act upon our own will to go against God, but ultimately, if it's not a part of the greater plan, then it's either gonna work to our own demise, or it's gonna work to the demise of it's not gonna work out according to the way that you planned it.
And, all right, this is where I always get. This is where I get. All right, I want to focus on this part of this argument. Tell me if I'm okay, or if you're following me. I'm thinking this. I think if we target the root, the closer we get to the root cause, and this sounds stupid, I guess, the root cause or the root argument for this, right? If we get to the closer, like why is there a God? Why is he doing this? Or why are the things the way they are? If we ask those questions, the parameters is kind of irrelevant. Because I remember when I was talking to your dad, and his dad's a pastor. Yeah. I remember getting him we talked all the way back, and then he literally only had one way out, and that was to say that. And he literally was the most articulate person I've ever had a conversation with. He's smart, dude.
He's smart,
but he still had to come back to one point and one point only, that it's a faith. And it's a personal faith to make that jump. Yep. My argument is to why do you have to make that jump? And then he argued this. His argument was that you don't make it if you're trying to. He says he's telling me, he's like, you're intellectually trying to figure it out when it's on an intellectual basis. You got to feel it. All right, that's his argument. That's sounds good on paper, but I don't think that's the way it should be. Why? Because you're saying here's my argument, just to play it out.
Go ahead.
I think if we're starting at point A, right? Point A is just blank. We're here. We're human beings. All I know is I got kneecaps and fucking toes.
Yeah.
I'm here. All right. Why? So point B has to be like I have to make a leap because we're just there. Why go from this? Because there's nothing there. Why go from this then believe that there's a God who made all this and did all this, whatever. And then that the Bible's real and that all this and that was the
I'm gonna let him answer first, okay. And then I'm gonna answer. Because
why make that jump? Why make that jump? There's the only thing you have is faith, right? A blind faith to jump into something that really, if you start looking at the things, it's not logical at all in any way. Nothing that you can even remotely close to.
Yeah.
I think it's the fucking societal norms and the shit that we've been growing up on is what is. I remember when I was younger, that was the way I thought it was supposed to be. I was trying to read the Bible because I was like, I need to get my shit right. I need to get my shit together. Because I thought, and then how did I know as a kid that in order for me to get my shit together as a little kid, that I had to start reading the Bible and get it? I know nothing about the Bible. I'm like, I'm doing it right. I'm just trying to be a good person. Yeah. That means I was so conditioned to believe that and go that way by society.
I think that's where a disagreement starts, is right there where you said conditioned, because
you think it's a natural process.
I can't answer for anyone but me, but I can say that
your dad was a pastor. You had no choice.
But what I can say is that originally,
what about the people that didn't have a choice and it just?
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh no, everybody has a choice.
But think about it though. Originally.
I'll let you argue.
Let's say.
He's on it right now. Let's let him go. Let's let it. All right.
Well, all I was gonna say is let's say that I grew up to believe that Muhammad was it, that he was the man. That's instantly what I was trained to believe. Okay, so I'm not gonna give that up for anything. But what my dad was saying, what I think I can continue to articulate, is that the fact that that Jesus Christ is the only one who's ever survived the point where
he
people
did say
say that, like, you know, all right, it's death. That's it. It's done.
He said he transcends.
He went beyond that and like survived. Went and took, you know, sin on his own back, died, rose again.
Yeah.
There's nobody else that can say they come back from the grave.
And I don't know enough to even to honestly. I'm gonna give that to your dad. Yeah, I'm gonna give that to your dad because I never read the Quran. I never read other things. I haven't read it.
The Quran's bad.
I don't know
it either.
Well, I'm just.
The Quran's horrible.
Look, I'm not religious. I think all this. I think it's all bullshit. But like,
look, you gotta,
hold on. Let me jump here. Let me tackle this real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, your dad did say that, but remember, we still backed up to the point of you have to make a leap to believe in the first place. Meaning, and I think this. I think once you accept B, we're at A, right? We understand what A is?
We're still at
just
A.
being
A is not
just
knowing, just
my eyes open.
creatures.
My eyes open.
We're here.
Right? Yeah, we're here. That's A. B is, I guess, the truth.
God created us. Oh, I need to serve him now.
Now, I think.
Say something?
Yeah, one sec. Let me just finish this part.
Finish the point.
I think that once you accept B as truth, then it all makes sense. Because once I it doesn't even make sense to me, but if I accept that B is true, then I get why this does this, and this makes sense, and this makes sense, and this makes sense. But if B is not true, then none of it's true. Because I never even made that leap.
See, think about this.
But let's go back to, you said
think about this
why...
real quick. If what's true to you is let's say if what's true to you is true to you, and what's true to me is true to me, what if my truth says your truth is a lie?
Ooh, okay,
is it still true?
That's a different argument. That's a different argument.
It's a deep subject.
Now, hold on. Now we're not talking about a divinity anymore. Now we don't have a...
Let's think about, okay, I'm going to get into this God situation. See, if you keep going around asking why, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. You're never going to get the answer because, honestly, none of us know.
We
go by it based off feel,
there.
based off what we see and how we feel.
And I agree. I don't think any of us fucking...
None of us know because, honestly, God's not coming to you and saying, hey, Aaron, hi, I'm here.
Yeah.
It does not happen.
Give me specific directions.
That's smart shit you're saying.
But we are here whether we like it or not. Mm-hmm. And we got here for some reason. And there's one thing that's wrong with this picture. We're not supposed to be here. And just because of the fact that if every single human on this earth went extinct, nothing would happen. This earth would go back to perfect percent instead of if a bee went extinct, like I said earlier.
Yeah,
it would domino effect down. We are not a part of the food chain, just like every animal on this earth is.
Okay. No, there are animals that fuck up other ecosystems. There's viruses that would wipe shit out.
Where do the viruses come from?
All right. Yeah. Well, you're gonna make the argument that it's, I don't know, like
most of our scientists,
or
most virus that's out today has been made by us.
All right, I don't know that number.
Cancer?
I have no idea.
Hold
on. I want to back up. I want to stick back to the argument. All right, so you're saying why are we here if we don't fit? And I say like we do fit. We just happen to be the ones that are very like. First of all, I am not. Well, there is some debate as to like what the fucking like a dolphin can and a killer whale. They're like, they don't critically think, but they don't have to.
Let's get real with it. Look what we do on this earth. Look what they do. Mm-hmm. Look who's changed and look who hasn't.
Yeah, but that's not a straight link to the divine.
But that
you can see that we happen. All it is really critical thinking.
That proves
once we have critical thinking. Everything changes.
That proves though, that because everything is so different, that proves we did not come from evolution.
No, that doesn't do that. First of all, hold on. There's different thoughts. There's different school of thoughts now. Remember, I never got to tell your dad this either. Remember this. You don't know my stance, but I'm not an atheist. I don't just, hold on. I'm atheist. I don't, all right, I don't believe, I don't, all right, honestly, I don't believe in a God, but, hold on, not the God. There's people who believe in a God who doesn't believe in your God, and in a way that look like
monotheistic.
Here's my argument. My argument is this: if your argument is that there's a creator, fair game. I cannot deny. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think so, based on certain things. But that's still a sound argument. That's still a sound argument. There could be a creator.
No.
Now, me saying that there's a creator. Me saying that there's a creator does not suggest, because I do not believe in your view of the creator and the Bible and this and this and then he said this and he said that. I don't believe in any of that. Now, what I'm saying is there could be a creator. There could be. I don't think so, but shit, to me right now, like, it's hard. I don't think so. I think I kind of get what's going on, but I know that I have no fucking idea. So I don't come here telling you nothing. I'm just literally trying to debate things. I think I kind of know the area in which we're where I think the truth kind of lies. Like this, it's kind of broad as fuck, but I think I know it's this way. But I do not believe in the God, whatever, or in the Christian within these paradigms of what this creator is. I don't believe in any of that. I think it was. Anyway, let's not get into that. But I don't believe in that. So I just want to make sure that you know that just because it's not you believe in God or nothing. There's you either don't believe in God and everything, because this is so confined. These parameters and thought. There's so much more. You don't have to think nothing exists, though people do.
Let's just get out of our beliefs. If God is real, there's no way to think on His level. No way. Every single human brain put together will still not be on His level of thinking.
Well, it depends on how you think what God is.
Some people think that we can reach that on our own potential, but I don't believe that personally. No. But yeah,
but can we see? So can we? Because all right, you said this is what I love. What you said earlier is that we don't know.
We don't.
It comes down. But you're still. We don't know. But you are still. Why? If we don't know, to know that we don't know within this, why make the leap? To believe in this, it doesn't make you can, but you can.
I feel that it's real. So if I.
But that's the point that my dad.
But I've also
listen. Let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel that it's real in my body. The way that my brain works and how I feel and what I see, I believe 100% that it's real. No one's taking that from me ever. But listen,
hold on.
If I'm wrong, that means I just lived a good life and nothing's gonna happen. Let's say if I don't believe and I'm wrong.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's gonna be bad.
It's tragic.
No, it's not.
It is.
I think it's bullshit.
Like, no, you didn't understand what I said.
I heard what you said. I'm saying that's bullshit because I'm the guy who made you.
Listen.
No, it's a gamble. Real, you're saying it's a gamble. And you're saying you want to gamble on the right side because you have nothing to lose if it's not. Kind of thing, right? Like, I want if it's real, I want to be on your team, because if it's not, it's gonna be pretty bad, and that's shitty.
Well, I mean, life's shitty, but I mean,
but why you love it? I'm just saying, there's no reason to. I don't know.
Because if we're here for no reason, then why are we here? Why?
All right, no. Purpose is another big subject.
There can't be purpose with no creator. If there's no creator, there's no purpose.
I agree.
So why is there purpose?
I honestly at the root, like, we have to get deeper into this. It sounds. I know what it sounds like to you guys, but I'm not just this one person who thinks when somebody says there's no purpose, I think. Obviously, they jump to the idea that I'm saying, like, we're like an atheist believes that we're literally biological beings that are here or whatever to no service. I'm very spiritual. I have care. And I don't think. First of all, I don't think you take morality from any kind of like God or anything like that. I think there's good atheists, there's bad atheists, there's shitty fucking Christians, there's good fucking Christians. Yeah. It's just people are people wherever the fuck you go.
Yeah, true.
So there's no morality based from that. I don't think. But what was it? Purpose based. That's what we're talking about, right? Yeah, purpose based. It sounds like when I say that I don't think there's a purpose, an ultimate purpose. Ultimate meaning from the most top order, which I don't think I can fathom if it was even a purpose anywhere. Okay. I don't think I could. But you have to do the best you can.
We can only fathom what's here.
You can only do the best you can, and as with my given mind, figuring out when there's a whole bunch of bullshit in the fucking arena for me to choose from. Yeah, I don't think there's a purpose, but I'm not suggesting that we're just... Alright, I don't know where the camera left off before it stopped recording. I might do it again. We're picking right back off from where we left off, so wherever I edit this out, it might sound a little weird. Go ahead.
But now that I got to think about it, that I do believe we were created because the fact that our bodies is a machine. Whether we believe it or not, it is a machine. It's not a machine that we created like a metal or a phone, but it is a machine. When you put gas in a car, it can run, but when you run out of gas, what happens? It's just like us. Food is fuel for our body that runs us. You know what I mean? Our brain is a chip that can make all the electrical shit happen. The food is what drives us and keeps us going. If we don't have food, we break down and fall, just like a car would. We're the most high-tech advanced machine on this freaking planet. We can think, we can do things on our own, we can create new life. We do all this.
Yeah, but that's still not. That's not still so tangible where you can legit believe that, only because there's so many other avenues to believe as to why that is that.
I mean, think about
now
the
you
Earth.
can go.
The Earth is alive, and that's on a whole different technical level.
Yeah, I
the
believe
lava,
so, yeah.
the currents, it has its own cooling system, its own blood, like we
Yeah.
do. Our body has its own cooling system,
Doesn't mean it's created.
just like the Earth. So, but it comes from nothing.
Energy is
A
created.
scientist.
Nothing. Hold on. Whoa.
an
Hold on. You
atheist
guys have it
scientist-
wrong when even look. Remember, I'm not that kind of in that way. But may I present some information? When they say out of nothing comes, or out of something came from nothing, that nothing is not understood. But it's not nothing in the way we think it is.
You're right, because
It's not nothing.
Energy.
Yes, there is something. Black matter. We have no idea, but that's what like. Something ridiculous like 70, 80, 90% of the universe, and we have no idea what the hell it is.
Something came from something.
Put it this way, I also think this. Because that's how we think as humans, and that makes sense.
And
Just
that's what
because,
we see.
but that does not mean that's the case. There's things that blow our mind all the time. Time, the issue of time. How if I'm in space traveling faster than here, I'm gonna like. Time moves slower for me because I'm at a faster speed.
It's the same
and when I
thing.
come back, time's gonna be different. Let's say I'm in light years, and I'm traveling light year, so I'm like a month or a year in light year for me is fucking like hold on, a year in light. Like, I don't know the fucking about, but like
It's like a,
whatever the fucking
like a
thing.
hot minute.
It's like if it's gonna be way different, but we're still kind of in the same space time you would think, but it's
just
not.
like-
It's just a mind fucking thing. So what I'm saying is that reality doesn't have to be so making sense. You know what I mean? It doesn't make. We don't have to just totally understand it and have to make sense to us, because reality is
No,
really
we'll never
fucking
understand
crazy.
it. If you try to understand
But
it, you'll
even
make yourself
tangible,
look
even
bad.
what we know for a fact is something that is so hard. So like the idea of eternity. Can you wrap your head around that? I have no
Like the
idea.
fact that space never ends.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like,
That all of a sudden atheists think the Big Bang happened. That's the only thing they can prove. Oh, there was a Big Bang. They can't prove anything before that. But I don't even, you know.
well,
what I
they
mean?
can't really prove the Big Bang. The Big Bang's a theory because a lot of things suggest that it was. Like hence the ever-expanding universe. They thought it came from an explosion, and it was weird that even now the universe is expanding at a faster rate, which is weird because they thought that it exploded, and then what would happen? It would collapse back into a point, but it exploded, and it's like keep going out and pushing away and pushing away. So the latest theory is that it's just
keeps going.
it's just going to keep going, and then things are going to get too far away
Well,
from
see,
each
and
other.
that's what the
heat
Bible
everything.
says. He says in the beginning, God says, "Let there be light." Boom! All of a sudden, it just.
But now you're quoting the Bible. Why is the Bible right?
You know what I'm
Why?
saying?
Do you really
That's
think
what
it
it
was
comes back
divine
to.
written? You really think it was divine written?
Divinely inspired, I wouldn't say written.
All right,
The
divinely
people that-
inspired to be written
The
by
people
God.
that wrote this stuff, I would say.
Isn't there a
were
lot of bullshit in that
inspired.
Bible? Some people, I've heard this. All
I
right,
would say
Old
in the
Testament,
Bible,
New
but
Testament.
yeah,
Which
there's-
one?
It has to be New Testament.
New Testament's the most.
Why is that when it was? It's relevant to now,
Most
but
relevant.
translated
New
by
Testament
people. Was it definitively translated?
New
We
Testament
can't
is to
argue
Jesus.
that. No, in
I'm
my
asking
opinion,
you.
we can't. No.
Because if people want to argue, they can argue at the AD and BC. That's in the history book. At time, you know what I mean? AD,
Mm-hmm.
Anni Domano, which means in the year of our Lord, and BC, which means before Christ.
Yeah.
Before Christ, you know, Jesus wasn't here, and that's when the Old Testament was happening. Boom,
Yeah.
Jesus was born.
But wouldn't that be the
AD
most
happened.
original?
That's
the
what we're
word?
supposed to live the New Testament. There's still Christians on the earth that live the Old Testament, that believe the Old
There's a
Testament.
lot too that believe.
Wasn't there a
like
lot of
that.
bullshit in that?
Just
How was that
Jewish
okay?
people that think it's just.
There was a lot of
law.
bullshit. There's
Yeah.
probably I haven't
There's
read the New
people out
Testament.
there right
I've
now
seen some
that
shit.
think-
There's
that
some
think that-
bullshit
that
in there.
Honestly, all you can
But
do.
why
you
do
can
you?
eat-
Why? How are you allowed to
pork,
pick and
you
choose?
can't-
We can go through the Bible and find some weird motherfucking passages.
We're not allowed to pick and choose. My point is that.
But why you take away your logic and say that? Because in order for you to believe that, like, there's no other situation in the world where like you would just say like jump to this and not think about
No,
it.
no.
Because if
Well,
you
I think
thought about
I
it,
think about a lot of shit.
What
And you
else-
What
still
I
believe it.
believe, I fully believe
and
in God.
I believe. All right,
What
all
else
right.
can-
That's
but what
like I
else-
said. That is
Nobody can argue with that because.
yeah, because that is on the docket. I don't believe in the Christian way of God, and I'm just saying Christian. I'm saying Christian because that's what we're arguing. I don't think in any of these organized religions. Anyway, I think none of them got it right. I don't think
Muslims,
anybody
Jewish,
knows it.
whatever.
Like you said, nobody knows. I don't think none of us have it right. I think that's what we're doing. We're trying to figure it out the best way we know how.
Yeah, honestly.
but you have to remove yourself from these confines to really think, because you can't think when you put these brakes on, and because this book says this, that means I gotta do this. You're living and you're thinking in like in a shell.
Box,
I try to step outside the box.
Yeah,
I look at life.
I want to look at
in
the
general.
full
I just
picture.
look at life and how
through
the years,
people
how we
relating
live,
to one another.
Can you really tell
think,
yourself
how
you do
we
that?
feel? You know, like you take a little seed, throw it on the ground, all of a sudden, pow! This big tree happens, and it's living, it's alive. It needs water to survive, like we do. If it doesn't, it dies, just like we do. You know, it's just. I just think about everything, like space never ending. If we go to this planet, we won't be able to survive. If we step outside of our solar system, we can't breathe and we'll be frozen instantly without a fucking millisecond. Just we're done. We're done. We can't escape this. We're here. There is no escaping this. If it just happened, and wouldn't we be able to escape this place?
No,
not at all. Not at all.
Why?
What gets to me is
it's fucking one of those things. But we just here's an argument. We just so happen to be the beings that are alive to even contemplate this thing.
You know,
That life could be so rare in the universe that we just, because we are the living in the universe, that it's so rare that we're contemplating it, and that's what we are. We're just here.
It's just the fact that
I think that's what we do, but I don't. I mean, obviously, I think deeper than that. But
if you want to get down, how many living species are on this earth? Insects, bugs, human, everything. If you just look at every single species on Earth,
but we don't think about it in those terms. We think about people as the only ones that matter, because people do matter. But my point is that if you're thinking about it in terms of, all right, hold
on, we're the only ones that matter?
No, wait.
Is that what I heard?
I'm not saying it.
No, I said we're the only ones that do what we do.
I'm not saying that.
I think you said that.
What I was saying is that not that we're the only ones that matter, but that people do matter, and the fact that people matter is something that is ingrained in our own minds. It's not something you teach to somebody else. So let's say, all right, yeah, people matter, kid. You're teaching your child.
Matter
oh, people matter. Yeah,
Animals matter.
Do they matter on a spiritual level?
I think that animals can be. Let's put it this way: animals can be spiritual, but I don't think that it's spiritually that their souls are put on the same like pedestal that human souls are. Because I think that like when Christ cast out the demons into the pigs and whatnot, I think that they just like went off and died into the water.
We're here for our pleasurement. We enjoy that.
But at the same time, I don't think that
you don't see an animal having a human as a pet.
I don't think that like.
But why does that give you the idea that just because we're consciously more advanced than that? This is the way I see it. There are, in the grand scheme of things, they're more like our little brothers, like those little shitheads.
It's just the fact that what blows my mind is the fact that out of every species on Earth, we were the ones that were given the chance to explode our
But you make it sound as if given a chance, being like, I'm like, here you go.
It's impossible for a lion to do what we do.
Yeah, but why does that? Why do you make the leap to think that it must be divine?
Because what else?
Because it takes one simple thing: critical thinking.
Yeah, but who had the
Once we're in critical thinking, who says we have to have that?
We don't, but who had the original thought? My point always.
Well, critical thinking is the way our brains became.
See, it's easy for us to think that God's not real, but it's crazy for us to think that He is real.
No,
what's crazy to me?
What's
crazy to me is that I'm crazy. People call me crazy because I believe in God, and they think it's insane in their mind. Like I just don't see it. It just sounds crazy to me. But yet, what sounds crazy to me is that all of this is happening from nothing. It just came, just a big bang.
Because you don't understand what nothing is, and that's what I'm saying.
And see, and I feel like they don't understand.
They don't. But look, because see, God is like this. In much of the way that you're making the argument, the only difference is this. What I'm about to say is that there's like textbooks and things like that. Only difference, but. Your argument for God is tantamount to the argument for that there is a living tripod out there and it created us. Because you can't disprove it. There's no text written about it, obviously. It'd be totally fucking nuts for me to like just jump on board with that. You can't tell me there's no tripod out there. There's literally creating us. There's like people say the spaghetti monster. You can't tell me there's not. Because you don't know. You have no clue. You can't tell me. But why make that leap into thinking that? Why not have total self-freedom and self-thought and literally just dive in and say, look, I'm not going to be confined to this belief and to this idea of thinking. I'm going to figure it out on my own, on how what makes sense
just
to
a
me.
Moment and put it aside for like faith and the fact that somebody understands better than we do, and we can understand it just like they do if we try to pray and seek, God and seek His face.
But all right, but don't you have to have the faith to jump there? Is what I'm saying. Well, everything we come back to is the
inspired.
faith.
It's divinely created. It's not something that we can create on our own. That to me is the point why people think that it's not fair. But to me personally, I think that's what's so special about it, is that God chose me. I mean, like He could have chose anybody that even don't understand anything.
So He chose you out of all His creations. He chose you.
Yeah, and it's divinely inspired. So what I'm saying is that, let's say that, all right, God didn't choose me. He chose Justin. He chose you to articulate His point across to other folks. It doesn't matter, but the fact that He did choose me is what. Well, yeah, that would be ideal, but to me, like,
fuck up? Or did He want to play a weird game?
I'm not saying He fucked up. I'm just saying that we can't understand from His mind what's going on, so we can say that, like.
See, but that's where I hate that. This is what I don't like about that. Is because you're saying I can't fathom your thought process but that means you're just giving Him credit left and right because you believe in Him. Now you're validating Him, and anytime that you might have an idea like, well, it was a little weird, I'm just gonna stop thinking about it because I want you to be right. So I'm gonna say I think you had a better purpose and a better
thinking. Well, that's what
used
to frustrate
so you're dropping your mind. Well,
saying that,
think for yourself is what I'm saying, because I think human beings are being confined into these little thought fucking pockets. We can be bad. We can think for ourselves.
That's why I think.
I mean, you said earlier, you said something made sense to you, and I think that was that's something that's good. It's something you're not so stuck where you can't even like. That makes sense. I get it. Because we're here like. Once you put on these fucking breakers, like I have no idea. So I'm never gonna tell you. I think I know the idea, but I'm not gonna preach to you about it because I know I don't know. If you ask me, what do you really think? I'll tell you what I kind of think. I don't know.
When we have debates, if you have a debate about God, you have to have a debate about the devil too, because there is no. I can just argue about God and not the devil.
Exactly. That's what I.
Because if you got to understand if you understand what God's if you understand what God does from people telling you, you have to understand what He does, the other guy, and how He can manipulate.
Well, you could have an argument about that, because if we're arguing the sole premise of there being an original God and original creator and stuff like that, if we're arguing that, then there could be no devil. So it's a snowball effect. And the only time we have to really talk about the devil, and tell me if I'm wrong, I understand. I think I know where you're going with this, and I'll say that in a second. I think the only time we have to talk about the devil is after we've accepted this paradigm. Then we can talk about within this world of there being the creator Christian God. Yes, He's super fucking relevant. He's gonna pull you into sin. He's gonna pull whatever. I think your argument is more along the lines of saying the reason we're questioning these things and the reason we're having doubts and whatever is because that there's a devil kind of like being kind of pulling this way. And if we don't, we just pretend He doesn't exist, then we're not. That's why we can't totally give ourselves to God. Am I kind of on it?
98% there. But what was I gonna say?
You said we can't have this conversation about God without the devil.
I was gonna say something else.
I don't know. I just feel that I think there's so much more power in us as human beings that we don't need this. We don't need this idea anymore. We don't need that. I think it was out of fear is why people go to this. Because it is scary to think like, I don't know, I need to figure this out. What if this is the truth? I think it is kind of scary. I mean, like we don't know.
It's just the scary part, if it is the truth, what happens if you get debated away from it? That won't end up good.
But then you're telling yourself that you're going to, as long as you're okay with understanding what's going on. Understand that in order for that to be the way you go about it, you have to say, I'm going to remove my thought process at all from believing into this organized system of beliefs that came down from the ages, and I'm just going to buy into it, and I'm not going to question it, because if they're right, I'm going to be screwed in the end. So I'm not even gonna question it. I'm not gonna find out if this is really the case. And questioning isn't like kind of questioning. I think that's one of the shitty things too. Is like if you're very spiritual minded, you almost feel bad about even questioning God. You don't want to question God in your heart. You feel like, oh my God, I can't believe I fucking did that. Like, I don't want to even think about it.
The smartest people in our nation's history are those who did do it, and the people who did it successfully, like C.S. Lewis, were able to present some of the best parts of understanding like who God is and understanding our relationship to other people.
Remember,
are those who
the best
understood that.
And the smartest is those. These are terms that you're using for that person. Remember,
yeah,
but that necessarily means
wrong,
he is the. Well,
but
just know that that's how you interpret.
Those people who understood that were people
but
who
you
were understanding more than
but
what.
you called him the best and the smartest.
Exactly.
You've seen that.
I
Doesn't
say
mean he is.
that way.
But doesn't mean he is.
We gotta
that's
think
my
outside the
argument.
box.
That's just kind of a
because
personal.
he sees it the way that people who would question things see it. That's the way I look at it.
We gotta.
He's questioning it.
I feel.
Therefore, I will identify more with him because he's saying that it could be wrong. He's saying that there exists the possibility of the fact that he might be wrong about what we're saying. He's understanding it in a way that's different than most folks who try to understand things the way that we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, man. I hate that.
I didn't want to put
You
you on the
can
spot,
tell you can drink some more beer, brother. It might come to you.
I
might come to your head.
don't pretend to understand everything, but I can't see like not believing in anything. That to me, that's like the worst.
That we'll find out if that's the case. Is my only argument.
I found out what I was
out.
gonna say.
Go ahead, jump because I know you're gonna lose it.
I was gonna say, I know, like, there is no, like, you can't doubt this, that something's wrong. Something's not right here.
With
that,
what? In what area? So I know.
The humans and on this life.
Relate to
because
oh yeah, are we fucked up?
Since day one,
Oh, yeah.
think about this. From day one, how long did it take us to get the first technology?
Long time.
Well, it depends on what you would technology.
I'm not talking
is,
about
but-
old technology. I'm talking technology.
Oh, well, that's relative.
Electricity.
That's relative.
How long did it take?
That's relative.
No, how long did it take?
Because it doesn't mean that's the only technology.
No, I'm not saying that.
So
I'm not saying
to when we got to technology,
to our technology.
I don't know the human timeline that well, but at a certain amount of time.
It was like 1894, somewhere around there.
Years.
Something like that, in the 1800s. Well, how long did it take for us to get to here? To where we are now? Look how fast. The first cell phone was made in what, the 90s?
And it was done, yeah.
First cell phone came out in the 90s.
80s and 90s is when the smartphones just took off. Yeah.
82, there was no computers.
There
or
was no
anything.
goddamn smartphone.
No, not in the
nigga.
90s. But what I'm saying is that's what it started at. And then
Okay, let's
took off
just take it
from
to the
there.
70s.
Some
70s,
technology was created.
Yeah.
Let's take it to the
Some
70s.
shit happened in the 80s.
70s, it wasn't shit. There was cars, whatever. There was airplanes. But there wasn't really shit.
Some shit.
All of a sudden, look where we are now. No matter what the fuck we say, no matter what, we create. That's what we do. We create.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what everybody wants to do. Like, we want to create. We don't want to just stay and just sit and just, this is it. This is what we do. We want to get out there. We want to expand and grow. We want power. We want
that's true.
all this. Like,
Well, I don't know about the power thing, but create. Yeah, I think we do want to create. Yeah.
I know a majority of us that want power.
Yeah, well, I think power,
Power can be put in lots of different
Well, I think
ways.
the people who want power are misguided. And it's not. I do not think
It's
that's
not
a.
personal, like, goal for them.
I don't think that's human nature.
No.
I think because we're grown up in the society with this monetary system, the scarcity is available, and all this kind of shit like that. I think all these factors, it's way too difficult to say what human nature is. That for us to say that like people would desire power. I do think we create naturally. That seems natural because I think everybody would love to people create and want to be recognized for their creation.
If we didn't create, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's a thing. I don't think naturally it's like a power struggle. It doesn't have to be that way.
No, it's just.
I don't think so.
The fact that
the way we are living right now, yeah, we're breeding this. We're breeding this power-hungry fucking people, and this is how it is. And you can't you're not gonna make millions and billions if you ain't powerful. Like you have to be cutthroat at everything.
I try to get into feelings too, like feelings. Like let's say if every single human on Earth only thought about themselves. They didn't care about anyone else. Mm-hmm. Every human on Earth, we would be extinct right now. We wouldn't be here. If everybody, Sion, you had your little bubble. You didn't care about your mom or nobody. You didn't care about nobody.
I don't know if we'd be extinct, but we'd be more fucked up.
We'd be in a world of fucking hurt.
I'm saying,
yeah.
But all right. So is your next argument to say that we're getting that from from the divine, or we're getting that because we believe.
No, he's saying that we're.
Oh no, I'm asking. I don't know if that's true. I'm asking.
I don't
Is
know
that your
what he
next
believes,
argument?
but what I believe is that the fact that we're all naturally predisposed to do the wrong thing because we're human. I think that there's
Because you
original
believe in sin, original sin.
I believe in original
And
sin.
I don't believe it at all. I don't see why. Because remember, we have to, like I said,
Yeah,
we have to
I'm
believe
not
in
gonna
point
say
B.
you're wrong.
Once you
We have to
believe in point
collectively
B,
agree on
then
that
everything,
before the next thing
this whole
follows.
story starts to make sense. But I have to believe in this first, and then this little fucking accordion of shit will like kind of play.
Yeah.
But it doesn't play unless this.
I know what
I
you're
never
saying.
even saw the accordion because it was never relevant.
Right. I know
So
what you're saying.
because but the root we kind of hashed it out earlier. But like I was saying, is that what you were alluding to?
What?
When you were saying that if we all were like so selfish that
if we never took care of anybody but ourselves, basically,
that
we'd
would be
all die.
really like extinct, which I would say would
We'd
be
be
just
close
be like
to it.
fuck. Yeah, we'd be fucked up. But was there an underlying argument to say that we
I was
got it
just
from
saying
something,
that-
or you're
that-
just saying that?
That is proof that we have to love and care.
Okay, no, totally agree. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree. We
Like,
have
it's just-
that's the way to be.
It's
For
it's
sure.
It's just crazy. It's just to
Okay.
think the fact that I can lift my leg. And,
What was your argument earlier for saying that how close technology happens with electricity? Why was it electricity that you were so fixated on?
well, you know, technology comes in all different ways. You got the old days, like stick technology. You had swords, and that's the type of technology that was invented.
Yeah, sharp blades, fire, fucking whatever. Everything that was
But
helping yourself.
think about this: back in the day when they built the Great Pyramid, today we don't have the technology to build that pyramid.
Yeah.
We don't have.
Nigga, I believe in aliens. Y'all missed that.
John, you're
And the pyramid was never created for a tomb. The Great Pyramid. They didn't.
Yeah,
Find,
it wasn't a tomb.
They did not find any mummies
Yeah.
or anything in it.
Yeah.
And there's certain holes that are guided towards
Yeah.
stars.
Yeah,
that line
Orion's
up.
belt.
And it's just it's crazy.
Yeah.
If,
I believe in fucking
There is-
aliens. I
just
do
say
believe
if there
in
is no creator, then what?
Well, I believe in aliens. But why would a creator do that? For what? Why was that going to stars?
Why not?
That's what
He created
see,
To give
Hold on,
people
hold on,
reason
hold
to
on.
question, though. That's
Almost
what I
almost
think. That's what I think.
If I
about
create
it.
something, anybody
To
there's
just to
going
raise the
be-
question, this
to
is
raise the
fucking
question.
with you guys then.
But
Like,
that doesn't
dude.
no.
Oh.
See, just
No, it
because
doesn't bother
we
me, though.
believe that,
That's the
okay,
thing.
just to raise a question, just because we believe it that way, doesn't mean it is that
But
way.
you're the one who's jumping to conclusion. Remember, at the end of the day, we're in charge of ourselves. I believe so. We have to in charge of our mind because remember, we're at point A. The only reason you're believing this is because you went from point A to point B.
Oh, I'm not saying someone's controlling my life.
Are we following that? No, but no.
I believe
No one's controlling your life, but you have to understand the confines in which you allowed yourself to think.
I have the
You
power-
think you have the power to do whatever the fuck you want.
But
for
there's
sure.
consequences.
But you think that. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
you
there's
just
consequences for my choices.
We create a lot.
Yes,
with
but
what
like
we
I'm
think,
saying,
but-
well, I thought you were saying yes. Naturally, there is consequences.
We
for your
create
choices.
a lot
I
of what
assumed
we do.
when you said consequences that you were referring to divine consequences. When you
I
said
believe
that.
there's consequences when you die.
Well, let me go back to my argument. My argument was this: that you're not. I don't think you're totally free of thought, and I don't think I am either. I think I'm more freer than you guys because I don't have the confines that are telling me what's
That we
okay to
put
think
into
and
our
what's.
heads.
And I know you say you don't think it's that way, but it kind of is because you use arguments that are within this paradigm. You're using these arguments to like supplement other arguments. Meaning you're not totally free because you're using these arguments
Yeah,
to
but
and
then again-
that's what it works.
then
It works
again,
that way. It's going to self-replicate. You're going to self-believe
But
these
I've
things
been-
because it works that
but
way.
I've
This
been
is
able to free
thousands
think,
of
though.
years.
That's what I'm saying. I've been
You're
able to free
think,
think,
but I don't think that when you tackle this, and I don't think a lot of people do, when you tackle this situation, because we're so, like I remember when I was growing up, anytime somebody asked me what I believed, I knew I didn't believe in Christianity when I was young because I didn't know what it was. But I would just tell people. They would say, "Are you saved?" I had adults tell me that all the time. I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, "What's your religion?" And people would go around classes or talking about saying something within my peers, like, "What's your religion?" I'm like, "I'm a Christian." it was just way more easier for me to say that because I knew there was gonna be a whole fucking backlash, and then like that was just the what to say, and like so that means as a little kid I was so ingrained to think that way.
I believe it's a lifestyle.
Yeah,
I don't take it to religion. I take it to a lifestyle.
It's a personal relationship, which was the point that I was making earlier. Is that if you have a relationship with the Creator, someone who made you, who loves you,
like you actually,
but you have to think.
See what
Do you
I mean?
see where I'm going though? You have to buy into that first before you have a relationship.
Which is why I think it's election, and other people say that it's just doctrine. I think it's election. I think there's certain people who were picked to believe, and there are certain people who weren't picked to believe. People can hate me for that. People can say whatever, but I believe that way. And so
but have you challenged your own beliefs? Have you challenged your own belief?
I've
you
listened.
Literally thought and said, "Look, I'm not gonna give a fuck what anybody says. I'm gonna be devil's advocate to myself the whole way through."
I've listened.
That's how I've learned. I've always questioned myself, and I was like, "That's bullshit." I just try to move on, like think
the exact opposite of what I believe. That's what I thrive on. I love listening to people who believe completely different.
I only know
what I believe, but
I've only been alive for 26 years, and I don't know for about 2 of those years or some. I just.
Well, what I'm saying is there was a divine intervention. There was something that you may not be able to completely articulate. You may not be able to completely say it, but if it really happened to you, then nobody can argue. Exactly like he was saying earlier, what's true to you may not be true to me, but it's still like it's my truth, and my truth says that your truth is a lie. Then does it make it not true?
All right, and that's a different argument though, because now you're not talking about. To what you were saying, are we okay? Are we on the same page? We were saying if my truth's different from your truth, and you know what I mean. Like it could be your truth could be true, but my truth. Yeah, it could be this weird little pair. All right.
Yeah.
But there is you are giving a truth. Your truth is saying that the Bible's real and the Christian or this whole Christian structure is real. That's the truth.
Everyone says
that's the truth.
What I believe.
You're not arguing this paradox idea of living. There's a thought out there that there's a school of thought that's saying that. Which sounds like that, but I know you're not thinking that because whatever. But there's a school of thought out there that's saying like we create our own reality, and so if my thought, if my personal, everyone's personal truth is correct. So if my truth is correct, your truth is correct, your truth is correct, this person's truth is correct because it's our personal truth. There's a school of thought that exists out there that could be it, right? My thought is one step below that to say that doesn't mean anything. There's still one truth. That your truth would be ambiguous. No matter what your truth is, the truth is that everyone has their own personal truth. Right? That's the underlying meaning of that school of thought. Yeah, so there is a school of thought. So then your belief would be like, well, I can believe whatever the fuck I want. Because
see, there's people that do that. Yeah. Everyone has their own opinion. See, I know a guy that believes we're.
But don't we have to figure it out? And I know some. Does everybody's opinions matter? Do you think so? I don't think so at all.
I think
there's a lot of bullshit out there that
literally comes in here and says, if you don't believe in what I believe, I'm gonna cut your hands off. I'm gonna fucking.
I don't agree with ISIS, but I'm just saying there's some people that are stupid as fuck.
Where did you get that from? Where did you get that from?
That was my point.
Muslims, a radical Muslims.
But out of the conversation we were having, where did that come from?
You said, does everybody's opinion matter? I said, if that guy came in here and gave his opinion, that opinion would not matter to me because that's evil in my eyes.
I don't think. Well, no. My argument was, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you wouldn't believe that. I wouldn't believe that. I'm saying that just because I have an opinion, is it that valid? Is it valid just because I have an opinion?
It's just an opinion.
Exactly. But you're a human being.
Don't know.
So we take it for.
No. If I have an opinion that all dogs are, if I think all dogs, I'm like I just feel like all dogs like I don't know. Yeah. I feel like all dogs are just evil. You know, like from like spawn of hell.
Yeah.
Like literally, do you hear this motherfucker saying that they're just evil, man? I swear, they're fucking evil. Does his opinion fucking matter? No, you're an idiot. You're a complete fucking idiot. No, they're not evil from this spawn of hell. Like, come on. I'm smart enough to know that that's totally not the truth. So therefore, your opinion doesn't fucking matter. There's cases where opinions do matter, and I would say like, all right, what's your opinion on I don't know, maybe how I acted? Like that was a little rough. I felt like you were being a dick.
You're acting. That's a good point.
We're talking about opinions, but like yeah. So if your opinion's like something on that level where it's like
you can't say that
you're being a little bit
opinion is valid. All you can say is that of those logical opinions that I've heard, this such and such may be valid to me, and this is why.
Yeah, well, I think so. Really so it does depend. So opinions by large, just because you have an opinion doesn't make it worth even
just
fucking listening
off the
to.
Cuff.
Yeah, you take it by
That's what I'm
strand. Like, to me, all right, even us, we all can agree. We're talking about what's the truth. Now, let's say somebody does sit over here and says the spaghetti monster literally created life.
And
Literally, none of us have to listen to this fucker's story. We don't have to hear him. None of us have to hear this guy because he's a fucking moron. Like, nobody has to listen to him. Like, what was he gonna offer? Do we have to hear him? I'm like, no, tell me more about.
Oh, then maybe I don't know.
What sauce did he fucking use? Like, why listen to that douchebag?
Yeah.
His opinion
Good point,
means
though.
fucking
Yeah,
nothing.
nothing.
Now, what I'm saying, the opinion does matter when it's we know what opinions are relevant. You know what I mean? I know what's on the docket for a discussion. Just because you have an opinion don't mean no, it's equal value. No, it's not.
So here's what I don't understand: if every person's opinion, everybody's viewpoint is valid, then why do we place so much emphasis on like the missionaries and the people who are trying to get across to those who don't understand what the Bible says?
Oh, because you believe in that. Because you believe in that, and you believe that's right.
Yeah, let's say somebody is just a fucking Neanderthal. They don't know, they only know a certain language, and they know this.
Oh,
you teach to them in a certain language. So let's say that you're trying to understand that, like, why God created. Okay, you have in this viewpoint, but because you taught this person in one way, now all of a sudden nobody else can teach them anything because you taught them that, and their brain's so formative. They're like,
Yeah.
all right, that's
I do know
all.
So you're saying
So
it's a waste of time. Why send people
What I don't
to
get-
take this guy when he might just not get it?
To put everything into a small nutshell, what I'm saying is that what if I didn't know anything at all, and all of a sudden one person walked up to me and said, Jesus Christ is your Savior. This is why you should believe him. This is what he did. This is what blah blah blah. And all of a sudden you're like programmed into thinking this, but you haven't really been able to form any like formative thoughts of your own. You're just basically saying this is what's happened because it's what repeated to me, and this is how I believe it now because it's been repeated to me this way. So that's what I'm trying to say is like how do you reconcile in your head like understanding what is true belief and what is just like, all right, I'm just saying this shit now because like to try to understand something. It's not because it's come to you in a divine like sense. It's just like you're just trying to make sense of it.
I legit spaced out during that
I
conversation.
know one thing's true.
Jump in.
Is that we could spend our whole lives arguing this topic, our whole entire lives, and we won't find out one
They
answer.
never understand.
You might believe an answer, you might feel an answer, whatever. You won't find an answer. But nobody can deny this. Out of this whole belief system, it gives people hope in this life.
Well,
that some
that's
people
what I
in
like
this
about
life
Christian
don't
message.
have hope,
There's just certain
and they
things
don't
that
want to go on.
Yeah.
And this right here, whether you believe or not, it gives them hope.
Yeah,
It gives
that's
them
what
hope
I
to
like
keep
about
going
the
in this
Christian
world,
message. That's
to
one
keep
good
living
thing.
and strive.
Well, it's not just a Christian religion.
It's not. You're right. There's
But
multiple religions that could take it to the same.
But I
extent,
think what that says
That's
to
the only
me.
religion that makes sense, though, out of all religions in this
well,
world.
to me,
To
it's
you.
the only- yeah,
To a lot of people.
well,
Yeah,
Millions
and there's
and
more
billions.
Muslims who think okay, if it's a numbers game, they'll got you beat.
yeah,
No,
you're
not
right.
Muslims. Christianity, there's more Christians than
Well,
Muslims.
what are Indians?
in the earth right
Hinduism.
now. But what he's saying
Is
is
it
that,
Hinduism that?
Christianity
What he's
is
saying is
the
that
oldest
there's-
religion on earth.
yeah, what he's saying is that eventually the Muslims will overtake that because they have the whole.
No, I thought they had more numbers.
Group of
Well,
right
no, they
now-
don't have the numbers.
No,
well,
right now
what
it's
if fucking like
Christianity.
Buddhism
Yeah.
or there's like what the fuck do Indians
Monks.
believe? There's way more of those
There's a
motherfuckers than
lot
us.
of groups out there.
Like it's not a numbers
No,
game.
see, America is not Christian.
No,
Christianity
but
started
that's
in
what they
Jerusalem.
claim, yeah.
It's all over.
Oh
the
yeah,
world.
but we're a Christian nation. Obviously, we didn't
Yeah,
found.
that was my
We're a
point.
Christian.
Yeah, we're Christian.
We
in
all
the
right.
sense
We're not
that
supposed to. That's a whole
we
different
all
argument.
are
We
supposed to
shouldn't be a
believe
Christian
that
nation
faith, but
because
we're
it should be
not
a
really.
separation of church and state. We were never supposed to founded on this because part of the beliefs of
It was
believing
freedom
this, so we can have a freedom of religion,
of
express
religion,
yourself,
not
to
freedom
express
from
yourself.
religion,
So we
so, yeah,
shouldn't
it
have
should
not
be
from
all-
religion. No,
That's
you're
what I
allowed
said,
to
of
express,
religion.
do whatever you want.
Exactly, you do whatever
Exactly.
your
But
personal
the nation
belief
wasn't
is
supposed to
argued.
ever adopt
A
religion.
unified, yeah, exactly.
They
So
were.
that's what I was going to say with the whole Catholic thing is that, oh yeah, we all believe in God, we believe in Christ, but you can't say that's a uniform religion for the country
Exactly.
because then you're just basically saying we're no different than anybody else. Or
Yeah, it's not
if
supposed to
you're
be
in
that way.
fucking
It wasn't
Iraq,
supposed to be
you
that
have to believe you're a fucking Muslim now.
Yeah.
You're all of a sudden believe in the Quran.
Well, you
and
can
all
be
this.
tolerant.
But my point is that we're not that crazy to the point where we're saying that everybody that comes to America has to believe in Christianity the way that we
No,
do.
we do it. If you adultery,
so-
a Muslim, if a wife cheats, she gets stoned to death.
Yeah. No, there's shit that, like, I don't know it that well. I don't know if that's 100% a thing. I don't know how extremist that goes down.
It's bad.
I don't think you know. So I don't know if I could take it to wholeheartedly. Well, our information, we're not over there. We weren't into that things. We are largely fed by the media, and I think it's corrupt, and that they have an agenda on pushing certain things. So I don't buy the shit that I'm hearing all the time.
No, the videos from my buddy.
Yeah, well, there's extremists, and that's what they're there for. And those things they're never about. We have extremist fucking Christians, and through our time there was extremist Christians that ruled everything. There's people who are probably just like marching down because they were there and like, I don't know why the fuck I'm doing it. Like, you know what I mean? That's a large amount of people. There's a small amount of people who dictate what the mass is gonna do. When in war, times of war, and
even
things
if
like
we
that.
don't want to agree with it.
Yeah, and then we have extremists. It's bullshit.
Did you know 5% of the Muslims are radical? That they believe in the terrorists. They believe
if
you don't believe in what they believe, you terrorize
out there
people.
that are trying to
5%.
That's 75 million people.
Okay, but you can't. But it doesn't matter. It's not about categorizing everybody. Yes, is that a strong fucking force? Yeah, I get it. And is that a lot of bullshit going on? Yes. But now it's not. But remember, you even said the number. It's almost foolish to say it's a Muslim thing. It's bullshit people acting in bullshit fucking ways. Dumbass motherfuckers who don't care about people, who don't value life, who are doing this, and that's what, because it's 5% of this. They're talking. I mean, it maybe the religion does cultivate it a little bit. I don't know, because I don't know.
I've read the book.
We try to rationalize.
What I don't get about the Muslim belief is that it wasn't a lot of people around the world that wrote the Quran book. It was one man and one man only, which was Muhammad. And that was a bad man. He killed people.
But what I don't get
about
to them
they might say, to them they might turn around and be like, why did your Bible have so many different people from different thoughts and different school of life?
Different lands.
But why?
At the same time period.
Well, what makes that better? It makes it better because you believe in it and you buy in it. They buy into theirs. So to them, they can look on yours and be like, that's the fallacy in that.
But to me and him, the thing that we can both argue is that Christ never put anything on other people that he didn't put on himself. And with that being said, what I'm saying is that, like, all right, so
you can find your good in that, but I'm saying I was targeting that small argument. That small argument as to why there's one person artist they can turn around and say,
I have all the answers to you guys' all arguments is null and void. You can't say that. No.
What I'm saying, he was saying that you can look at their book and look that it's. I feel like this is a bullshit point because they it's bullshit because there's one person that give them their book. Yeah. As to ours comes from different time periods, this and whatever, where they could probably look at it in a different light and be like, look, your book is from all scattered all over the fucking place, who probably didn't even know each other, didn't meet each other, and whatever, and they just do that shit in the book, which they did at the Council of Nicaea, when they literally formulated what they were going to put in, what they were going to leave out.
Which ones
were going to be
accepted? Is that not bullshit in itself a little bit?
Look at this. Right. Here's somebody here in this country. Here's somebody over here in this country. Somebody over here in this country. Somebody over here in this country. The same time period, they write the same shit.
They didn't.
And it goes in the book. No, not the same shit. It's the same shit about the same God. Mm-hmm. And it went to the Bible. There was a lot of people. The Council of Nicaea
made the Bible. They had a lot more accounts than just that. It literally wasn't, we have these 7 different things, these beautiful parchments from these different things. Let's just.
No, I didn't say that. I said there's different people writing the story.
Yeah, well, yeah.
To the same God.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These several different fucking things that work together. Let's put it together. It wasn't this beautiful crisp, you know what I mean, thing. It was not like that. They had the Council of Nicaea, and they literally figured out. It was by design what's gonna make the cut. What is it? Who's to determine that?
That's
the fucking Roman God or whoever did that. They're the ones who decided what message do I want to send
there's no such
to
thing
you.
As the Antichrist, but I think it really happened.
But then why believe in the Bible if you believe that was bullshit? Why believe? Because you can see that they have a message. It's about control. They're trying to control the people. They for a long time they would not let it be even legible to the common man. You had to go to the church if you wanted the word of God. Then Martin Luther came. He translated like German.
There had to be some kind of good truth to that if they were hoarding.
Doesn't have to be. No, they were because the hoarding of it was to say I am the arbiter of knowledge and I can control your mind, your spirit, and body.
That's what I agree.
It's not because they were holding truth. Is my argument. I think your argument is that they're holding truth, and that truth is such a gem that they didn't want you to know.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is they went, they orchestrated what they wanted in it.
Only certain
right?
things that
Why? What do we want in this?
People.
What do we want to convey to the public?
Yeah.
Right? And then we don't want everybody seeing it because we don't want we have these books and it says a little bit of this. We don't want them to kind of think whatever. I want to tell you what to think. Right? I want to be the arbiter, so it's control. I don't think it was so much where it was like, we got this, you know what I mean? Like when they get a hold of this, because we designed it in the first place.
Did you say that?
We designed the thing, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna control we're gonna control you because you can't access God unless you come through me.
Yeah, that's what was wrong about it.
That was
that's
bullshit.
What I didn't like about
and then
it.
It's slowly pieced out of it, and here we are, and now we think we've made it, and hallelujah, but we're still on that.
But this is the thing, yeah.
You know how easy it is for somebody evil to get the good book in their hands and do what you just said to do?
And that's what they did from its foundation. You call it the good book, but from its core, it was never a good book because it was
one village didn't write the whole Bible.
They designed what they were going to put in, what they were going to not put out. They did design it.
A lot of pages are missing. And the King James Bible, when they redid it, the king could only hold the Bible. If anybody else touched the Bible, they would be killed.
And there was still
only the king
Dead Sea Scrolls
could read from the Bible.
Certain books.
Well, King James came out. He came after that after creation. Council of Nicaea was not in King James.
Because what I just don't get, there was no big event that happened in the Muslim book. There is no big event.
That's irrelevant. Let's not go back to that. Because to me, we're arguing like apples and oranges kind of thing. Where I think they're both bullshit. Let's stick to why this is not bullshit. Why is the Christian one not bullshit? Because I do believe, I agree. Every point that you're probably going to bring out, unless you're using it in support of the Christian faith, I'm going to agree with all your probably points about why it's bullshit. Because I think it is bullshit.
Yeah.
I think they need to operate the way we all do.
The Christian
fucking throw your shit out. Think.
Put it on the marketplace.
Think. Use your heart. Figure it out. Be a good person. We know it's good to be. I know it's cool. I know what it feels like to be nice. We live in harmony when we're cool, we're nice, we're chill.
Here's where it gets back to the point that I was trying to articulate why I think that the Christian faith itself is better than the other faiths. Is that if people are saying that I'm doing such and such good because of the strength that was given me, it doesn't mean nothing. If somebody says that I'm doing this because of the strength that Christ gave me because he believed in me and he did such and such things because for me, for my cause, for my sake, then I have more strength to argue on the fact that he did such and such thing. I have personal relationships with him, why I should give that personal relationship to somebody else. So what I'm saying is that if you're trying to say that if Christianity is a lesser, or even if it's not a lesser, but it's just it's a viewpoint that is either invalid or it's not really relevant. What I'm saying is it is relevant because it's about a personal relationship, which is what people don't have right now, which is what's causing them to do things. All right.
No. Because I don't have a personal relationship with Jesus at all.
But let me get back to what I was saying.
You know that I'm a good person.
That's my point, though. That's what I was getting back to saying. What good does it do to say that I'm a great person and I've done all these things if it doesn't bring glory to something other than yourself?
Oh, easily. Because that never has to be the case. One is my spiritual growth and whatever. I don't know what's going on, so it's hard for me to say exactly whatever. Right? I just know that that's bullshit. Once you get it, I feel like you just fucking get it. That to me is not on the docket. But I remember thinking along those lines and thinking that way. But I get. All right, that's not a fair argument. That's not a fair argument. That's not fair. Let me change my wording. I don't derive any kind of morality from anything. Right? We just know what's a good way of living, a harmonious way of living. For myself, I'm going to feel better this way. I'm going to make others feel better this way, and that feels good for me. I don't know why that does or whatever.
That's what we're taught,
whatever.
though.
Huh?
That's what we're taught.
Well, you feel
at
it.
a young age.
Well, I feel it. And not
That's
necessarily
because-
taught, but we know that well because
At a young age.
well, you would think that, but put it this way, I don't think that's so much taught as to. There could be an argument there, but like, all right, put it this way, we know that if I have a pin and I prick you, it's gonna hurt.
Well, that's
Right?
true.
And now if I prick you with this pen, I know I prick myself with the pen. Like, whoa, that hurts.
Yeah.
If I prick you, I already know because we're both humans, that's gonna hurt you.
It's gonna hurt.
Like you're gonna feel it. So I can already put myself there, and I know what I'm about to do to you if I prick you with this. I understand that this level of discomfort you're about to feel by that action.
Like
let's say you help me up when I fall, and that little connection we have, I'm like, oh, that was cool. That was kind of tight.
See, nerve
and now when I
pain-
do that to you, I know what I'm giving you. I know this thing. I like that. Make me feel good. And I think that's unnatural.
It might be,
kind of
but
thing,
who's to
rather
say
than-
that would bring you
Watch
to
this,
heaven. That's
watch
my
this.
point.
See, the nerve pain that we feel, like pain that we feel, that's inevitable. We feel that. There's some people in this world that can't feel pain, physical pain. They can't.
Well, we're
Their
talking about
body doesn't
defects.
get
That's
it.
not
But
the
think about this,
natural
what
way
we're
to go.
taught. We're taught to do what we do in America over here, just like a terrorist. At a young age, a baby.
Oh, no.
Brought
that's
up
not
in no,
true.
listen,
That's
no,
not
no,
true.
it's damn true because I'm gonna prove it right now.
Okay.
A terrorist, an exploding radical terrorist that's gonna come over here with a bomb strapped to his chest and blow you up. And he's
that's not-
fully happy about it. He was taught that, and there is no way to get through his head.
That's
to
very
change that.
few. That's very few that get taught like that. I honestly think it's more likely the case that we're designing them. But with the bullshit that we've done, and like if you look
Where do
at
you
that's a
think-
whole other thing. We're starting to veer off a little bit. But if I could just throw that in there, I think that it's more likely the case that we're creating people. Can you imagine if a bomb was dropped on your family and you'd had nothing to do with these radical fucking idiots that are over there fucking around? I'm more likely to be like, yo, everyone's fucking dead. Fuck that. I don't
Yeah.
get America.
But-
fuck them.
Do
You
you-
know what I mean?
They've been
I'm
doing
like, you just killed my mom, dad, every brother, whatever.
They've
Yeah.
been doing that before America was even here. It's just
no,
technology's here
humans.
now.
See, I don't see it that way. My mind also doesn't look at people in this way. Once you identify strongly, then yeah, you see it, whatever.
talking about what
I
the
don't
belief
identify
system
strongly as American. I don't whatever.
belief
I
system.
identify strongly as a human being, and I feel like everyone should. That's where we're fucking up in this goddamn world. Is that people are too much into it. Do I
Obsessed
think we
with
can just get rid of
beliefs,
borders tonight and whatever?
Not
No,
gonna happen.
because we're so fucking conditioned this way. Like even me, like put it this way, this is another like school of thought of conditioning and like why we can't just get over it tonight. If a guy is sleeping with girls, obviously whatever. If a girl's sleeping with a bunch of dudes, like she's a little bit of a whore. Now, I don't think that's fair. If I stop to think about it, it doesn't
in
sound
our
fair.
heads,
Why is it like that
place
for
a
them but
different-
not for me?
yeah,
right?
different standard.
I know better. And I feel like I
Different
should not judge you because of that because I don't judge myself or
Exactly.
whatever. So I feel like I shouldn't judge you because of that because it's the same shit. Why? Because I was taught to think this way. Now, I'm smart enough to know I was taught to think this way. But still, if a girl's
Double
sleeping around with a bunch of people, I
standard.
still my heart's gonna be like, oh, what a fucking whore.
fucking
Like, you know what I
bitch.
mean? And then I have to back up and stop because there's so much of that in me. I was so
Yeah.
ingrained in that like even like it's hard, and I know better,
And
but I still feel that way. That's why I think it
there
has
are
to be a
people-
slow progression
That's my
out of
point,
this
though.
stupid
So
fucking.
human
way
beings
of
have
living.
conscience. Why do they have conscience? Because God placed it there for them. to
Oh,
have
but that's a
conscience.
leap,
That's
man.
my point, though.
That's
It's not
a
a
leap.
leap. It's
Yes,
not
it is.
So people,
It's a leap. We don't
Alright.
need conscience. First
It
of all,
goes both ways. Though.
if we were so self-righteous
Think
that
about
we
it.
had a
Why?
conscience,
How is
if
it
we were
both
so
ways?
How does it go that way,
self-righteous,
but not this
because
way?
you have to make the leap to go there. You
But
understand what is consciousness.
if we were so
it's
But you
self-righteous,
have to
have
do that as an
conscience.
individual.
Huh?
I've already made that leap, and I
we
believe
have
that.
that strength.
But I
though.
do open up my mind and think other ways. But my strong belief is I believe we're created because I've only been alive
Look,
for 26 years,
like I told you,
and
creation
I
could be
I
right.
think what I
Which
feel.
is
I don't
not
think by
any
what I read. I think
different
by what I
than
feel.
what-
Remember, let's
Yeah.
make sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
When you say creation, I'm automatically assuming, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, that you're saying I'm automatically believing in the Christian religion. That's when you say that. Because that's what I'm hearing when you say that. Because if you meant it in the way that I'm cool with it, or like I totally fine in creation, there could be a creationist. There could be, and I'm
When
okay
you
with
say,
that. Day.
Oh, there's a
Well,
big
because the-
bang, like yeah, like
No, he could have created.
to
I
me,
don't know the
that's-
big. I'm just saying there could be a creationist. There could be, and that's a valid argument. We can have that within certain whatever. But when you start putting on the Bible and this, and then the way it was made, and you start saying that this is fact and this is whatever, and this is the way it was, and people interpret it whatever. Once you put it in this little box, Nope.
Then you don't accept it.
It's not right because I can see it.
Like you were saying though,
because you guys are in it, and you have to back up a little more.
It's a personal relationship, so therefore, if you don't believe,
because you made that,
no consequence
you made that personal relationship.
But,
I think it's artificial.
But that's a good word for it because we think that it's not official, but in reality, if like he was saying, if it's true to you, it may not be true to me, but yes, at the same time, while it's true to me, I'm going to still articulate why it's true to me, and it may not make any sense to you, but it's still going to be my truth.
Because it makes It makes 100% to me.
Okay, but that doesn't make it true.
No, not just that.
Oh, okay, so we agree with that?
Right, not just believing it.
I've already said that. My belief is probably
But his argument kind of lingered up.
What I was hitting at
but didn't it sound like you were suggesting that, like, I might not get it, but...
Well, because it's,
it's your truth that's irrelevant.
Yeah, now it's believable.
He's basically saying that what he believes may not make sense to
Yeah, that's fine,
because we all think
but doesn't mean that, like, he's right.
No, it doesn't. Automatically, we can't prove
just
that.
Because
the only thing that we can prove is just certain situations of what happens.
I'm gonna have to disagree again because, like the spaghetti guy, we know we don't. It's like we can't prove it, but I know you're fucking wrong.
That's my.
And I know it sounds bad. It sounds bad, but so the pillow god, the spaghetti god, this fucking remote god, that's all equal. On the same level playing field? You really think so?
No,
you know better, motherfucker.
Right.
Don't even. You're just trying to make your argument sound okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like when I see it as such a that where I don't feel like I've thought about it. I've been there. I still whatever. I'm still not so close-minded or whatever. It just doesn't make sense.
Dependent upon that, which is what gets me to my point about the Muslims and the people that believe in Mormonism. But I'm trying to stick with religion, your religion as a whole. Because first of all, for us to debate that, you have to sell me on this, and then once you sell me on this, then maybe I would be like, well, hey, the Muslims got a pretty good gig over there. Well, and then you like sell me against that and why that. I'm still talking about the bigger picture. Why believe versus not believe. And not believing doesn't mean I believe in nothing. This is you can believe in so much. Some people do, and that's totally fine. But that's them. Because I think there's so much bullshit coming in, and they see the bullshit, but they don't know where else to turn. And that's why they're in that thing. And that's why they're more likely to not believe in anything. Here's where I think our whole entire country is headed in the wrong direction. This is why. I think that they don't view it as a fact of me believing different from you, believing different from you. I think they view it like, oh, we all have different beliefs.
Who's they?
I'm talking about our country in general, like the
way,
yeah, in general, like the way our belief system works. People think
get into leaders
that because you don't believe what I believe, and I don't believe what he believes, that therefore we're all wrong because we don't have a consensual belief system and what's exactly
nobody's
the way
right
things
if
are.
Everybody's wrong.
But that's the very thing that I'm getting at. Let's say the truth.
Who knows who's right?
All right, do we think there's a truth out there? Do you think there's a
this is truth.
Yeah,
we're here.
There has to be there has to be all
but do you think there's
encompassing truth
I think
that surrounds what people believe. That's what I think personally. I
think
be wrong,
I
think that there is an all encompassing, because if there wasn't, then we all have to strive to understand to work.
Hold on. We have all encompassing to what we all believe. I don't know.
No,
I don't think what we believe has to even make sense to the truth at all.
What I'm saying is that
there's a truth.
There is
one.
Yes, we have to admit that there is one.
Yeah, I think so.
If you can admit there is one, then you're just like
you're just an idiot.
You're totally fucking lost.
No.
There's no
like
way.
remember, your truth can be the truth can be that there. Well, the truth could be that.
There is two truths.
What do you mean?
One truth, we're here. Second truth, we're the dominant species.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
But
the truth is like we're talking about the out there.
The
spiritual. I know, but we're talking about that. Why are we here? This whole thing, or whatever. This whole spiritual realm. There's a truth out there, right?
Yes.
There'd have to be.
There isn't.
There would have to be. Even if the truth.
That's what I was hitting at.
Yeah, because there's a reason. There's something to happen.
Uncover the truth of.
And my thing is, I'm not so attached to it where I think I have to like it. I don't think the truth might necessarily be there for me to like.
You can question everything. But
what I'm saying, so it could be some shit like, look, I grew up believing in reincarnation and stuff like that. I kind of moved away from that since then because I see my attachment to that belief. as a kid, I grew up that way, believing in this, in a spiritual hierarchy and like moving and evolving yourself. As a person. I used to believe that way.
You used to believe when you die, you would just be born another person.
Well, it's the same soul. The soul continues. The soul continues, and it's for a spiritual hierarchy, spiritual growth. So we're learning how.
I'm gonna come in.
You can't debate it because I don't believe it anymore.
No, listen,
go ahead.
But I'm just saying, I know you don't believe it anymore, but if it was the same soul, then we would still have the same thought process.
Well, remember. Now you're arguing the details of it, where I've pulled away from it by thinking about the details of it, right? But here's the underlying thing, is that I was so stuck on this. I used to try to think about, like, I felt weird about certain things. I was like, I would think about other ways to even fit in the PR. Like, all right, I would keep reincarnation in my loop of thought. But like, I would change little details around it. Like, but then I found it within myself. I turned around and was like, look, why am I so stuck on this thought? I'm so stuck on this that I'm not thinking about more. So I had to back up that much more because my childhood had so much of this in it. I had to back up and then be totally fine and be like, look, why am I only believing in this? I can literally, I'm trying to make things fit and make sense to believe this.
To you, but
I don't have to like it. I don't have to like it.
You had to believe.
Let's find the truth. Let's fucking figure it out. It has whatever. Yeah, but I've moved on and I've grown. Now, could it still be? Could be. I don't think so because I don't see why. I don't see why there's a point in doing that. I don't get it. I don't see why would the universe just shape itself that way? It just doesn't. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have to make sense to me.
No, it doesn't matter.
So, but what I'm saying, I just kind of moved away from it. I don't think it's off the table for discussion. If somebody comes and talks to me about this, because I believed it before, it's something where we can still talk about it. But I've learned. But I think the most important issue, or the most important thing I'm trying to point out, is that I was attached to that belief structure so much where I was trying to find ways to
every other thought
around that thing. Because I was so stuck on it. But the most liberating one allowed me to be like, look, man, and I learned that about myself. Learn it. And I think that's where you guys are kind of at. Not because I'm not saying like I'm ahead, but like I think
all of a sudden I'm gonna be a Muslim.
There's confines in which that are shaping some of your beliefs.
You have to
studied a lot of religions,
and I think
not just Christianity. I've studied.
Well, I think all of them are. I think I think they all have whatever, but I think there's a window in there, and I think that if once you start, because you're confining yourself to this religious belief and which one has it right, I think none of these motherfuckers have it right. Yeah, take your pick, study them, figure it out, find out within yourself what makes right to you, whatever. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's got it right as long as you're a good person, your kids, your friends, you're a nice person, you love yourself and you love other people, then you're fucking gold. Right?
That's what we think.
We're taught to think that. That's my point.
We could be wrong.
Is that it doesn't matter how good you are.
I don't know that.
Why? Because even if there's nothing, you think even if we're just biological beings, there's no other process. You still think that not being a good person is not the ideal way to
put it this way.
Living your life in a nice way and helping others, even if there is no afterlife, even if there's nothing there, you still think that's wrong.
Put it this way.
Live nice.
No, I'm not saying it's wrong.
To live nice.
So that would be the best way to live. Be good.
If we're gonna say we're gonna put the if in there. If somebody was living in such a way where they think that it's only gonna be about their good deeds, then you could say, well, all right, this person lives such a way like Mother Teresa, they're going to automatically get into heaven because of their belief system, what they did for other people. They're going to, all of a sudden, they're automatically a saint. It doesn't work that way. If you,
you're saying that like you could, if you're just doing good things, you have to still believe in God.
The guy who was on the cross next to Jesus.
Is that what you're saying? You still have to
be? At one point, he's saying, all right, well.
How the fuck does
if I didn't believe, in
how's
Christ,
that cool? I get what you're saying.
I believe that he's the Son of God. Okay, now I'm going to go to heaven.
So the dick bag.
No matter how he lived his life, if he believes that, then at that point, that's what I believe. Honestly, if somebody, I'm serious. I think that if somebody believes it in their heart enough, it doesn't matter
that he exists and he's the Lord.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how they live their life. If they believe that to the core.
Oh my.
Yes, I think that they will be saved. It doesn't matter how they live their life.
Really?
The most horrible person in the world. Jeffrey Dahmer.
And they have
that's
all you have to do.
And all of a sudden,
no.
I'm not saying
all you have to do.
I'm not saying
hold on. I know what you're trying to say.
You're saying that you have to believe it deeply, and because you believe it deeply, that you can't be that kind of person, kind of thing. Or
let's say if I killed somebody, let's say like Jeffrey Dahmer, he killed somebody. He did what he did.
Yeah.
and then he got saved, and he just totally switched. Now he's believing. He's
sudden.
fully 100% in God. He changed his ways. He's not killing nobody anymore.
Okay.
That's what he's trying to say. He's
We
not
have
saying
No. I know what he's saying. I know exactly what he's saying. I still think it's bullshit because I think that's horrible. Because how is it that the person, me, put it this way, I've never
killed
I never killed nobody. I've always tried to be nice to people around me.
Because
and I've been loving. I've been taking care of
put our
people.
own-
I have a
we put
good
our
heart. All right, so we're done. Sorry, the battery fucking died on us. That's it. We kept going for a little bit, but we recognized it shortly after. Either way, I hope it was conveyed well. Hope it was interesting.
Hope we'll find you someday.
Please leave comments.
Yes,
We want your ideas, your opinions.
Same thing, yeah. And I hope
Because
you
we
enjoy
all
it.
have our own opinions, but yet we all live here, so.
At the end of the day, we still love each other. So see, they can turn that shit off. Just kidding.
Ain't nobody